In this Enterprise Test Data AI video, we're going to talk about how our AI-driven discovery is going to help you ensure regulatory compliance by reducing the risks associated with data privacy. Okay, so I'm going to do two things in this video. The first thing is I'm going to come into one of my definitions. I'm going to have a look at my Curiosity Bank. And in this view, I'm actually going to look at our AI assistant. It's going to give us slightly different information against the definition than it does against the rule set. Firstly, I'm going to ask it to summarize for me. So it's going to go and look at the tables and the details that exist in those tables and give me a logical representation of that. It's quite important, especially when we're searching for PII, to really understand the relationships that exist between the tables, between the types of tables that exist, to make sure that we are really mapping out those sort of logical details and not missing any sneaky PII that might be hanging around. It's also important to understand from this view ultimately the relationships that exist. So if we do later on go to mask and update this data, that we are maintaining referential integrity, and if names and details across multiple tables are found, we want to make sure that we keep those synced up and that we keep them nicely lined up so that our testing doesn't suffer. How can our AI help? Well, we're going to go and have a look at our version of this particular scan, and we are going to go and ask our assistant. Firstly, I want it to come and identify some keys. So what I want to identify is, although we've got some foreign keys, do we have the data relationships mapped out? And do we have some missing foreign keys in this particular database? Okay, now this is returned. It's given me an analysis of some potentially missing keys. Actually, what's good about this database is that we've not really identified anything that's missing. It's quite a small database. It is unlikely for that to happen. But actually, all the critical relationships have been inferred from the schema. So that's fantastic. Next, I'm going to ask it to go and find if there's any sensitive information that's being held here. Now that that prompt's finished, we can see that it has identified some potential PII columns from public accounts, some standard first name, last name, date of births, but potentially some business critical and business sensitive information is in here as well. So it gives us a summary, it gives us a detail, and actually it gives us some advice in terms of protecting them. The final thing, and I've already done this against this particular table, but we could also ask it for some metadata generation. That's going to go and look at the tags and the descriptions that we see here and make sure that we are tagging appropriate information to those particular tables for the type of table and the type of details we see at quite a high level. That'll help people when they are reviewing and investigating for sensitive information. So as part of this, we've taken a definition, we've understood its metadata, we've identified any potential missing keys that are important to this, and we've also asked the AI to search for any sensitive information that exists.